What if the Joker had survived the events of Batman Arkham City? How would the events of Batman Arkham Knight have happened? I'm honestly surprised a video like this hasn't really been made, as I think it would make for a very interesting theory crafting video. Now, this video may be completely wrong on how Joker would work in Arkham Knight. It's just my speculation because with the Joker, you can't really predict what he would do since he's an agent of chaos. But I do think some story beats would be significantly different if he were still alive, and let's just jump into it. Please support the video with a like, a subscribe, and a follow on Twitter. Would appreciate all of that. Okay, so Arkham City. Joker got sick with the Titan, which resulted in his death since he pretty much destroyed the cure that would have kept him alive. But if he did survive, how much of Arkham Knight's story would have really been changed? Let's think about it. And this is all, once again, what I think would happen. I could be entirely wrong. I probably am, but anyways, to start, Scarecrow would have still went on with his plan of taking over Gotham. In Arkham City, you can see that during those events of that game, he was planning the events of Arkham Knight even way back then with the Easter eggs, and Jason would have still been the Arkham Knight because he was the Arkham Knight during the events of Arkham City, spying on Batman and Robin in the game as proven in these pictures in Arkham Knight. So the basic premise of them taking over Gotham would have played out the same, I think. But here is where I think things would have been different. I think where Scarecrow recruits all of Gotham's villains to work with him, Joker definitely wouldn't have been one of them. Scarecrow would have known that and avoided him as much as possible, but since he doesn't recruit Joker, that would also mean he doesn't recruit Harley Quinn because Harley in this universe is completely obsessed with Joker still. So that would mean that Harley wouldn't have gone to go save Poison Ivy because Harley Quinn is the one who goes to rescue Poison Ivy in Bloodhaven before the events of Batman Arkham Knight. However, if Harley didn't go save her, then Scarecrow might have sent somebody else to go save Ivy, maybe the Arkham Knight himself or Two-Face, Penguin, Riddler. The thing is, Harley was sent to go get Ivy because of her relationship and history with Ivy. Ivy might have reacted differently if it wasn't Harley going to save her, so maybe she would have never broken out if that's the case. So if Harley wasn't a factor and nobody went to save Ivy, then that means the Cloudburst exploding would have been a much bigger problem because now that whole plotline in the game about Ivy being the one to save Gotham can't work. But it's entirely possible that Scarecrow would have sent somebody else to save Poison Ivy, she would have broke out and not worked with him, and the events may have panned out the same. But also, here's the thing with that. With Joker dying, there was a huge power gap caused by it, which is a big reason all the other villains united in the game. So, maybe the whole thing with Scarecrow meeting with all the villains wouldn't have happened. Maybe he would have just let them all loose at the same time he attacks Gotham, because I think no matter what, he was attacking Gotham due to those Arkham City Easter eggs implying so. So either way, I think how those villains acted in Arkham Knight would have played the same way in some shape or form, even if Joker was still alive. So that's one of the big first Joker influences. And I think Joker would have obviously found out about Scarecrow's whole plan and not have been okay with it. Here's the thing. Joker would definitely be a main villain at some point in Arkham Knight. He would definitely be a wrench in Scarecrow's whole ordeal and would do something to make sure Gotham knows who the real crime boss of the city is. I think what Joker would have done is set off the Joker army of the 4 Jokers we see in the game: Henry Adams, Johnny Charisma, Christina Bell, and Albert King, as well as Batman himself, but he wouldn't have known that at this point yet. We see in the game that Henry Adams contacts Harley and tells her about himself and the other Joker-infected people, creating a plan with her to kill the other Joker-infected, purifying the gene pool, as he put it, so they can be together. However, if the Joker were alive here, I think Joker would have altered these plans, obviously. I think Joker may have created an army with these people. Instead of killing them, he would have broke them out and used them to his advantage. Because the thing is, I don't think Joker would let Scarecrow's plan just move on, right? I think he would do something to come out on top and twist it so he's the big bad of that night. So I think at some point during the story, he would have broke out those Joker-infected people and have killed Scarecrow at some point in the story. I think he would have killed Scarecrow when he gets the chance. Maybe after the Cloudburst going off, maybe when he was at Arkham, not too sure. But in the grand scheme of things, I think a 3-way war would have ensued between the Bat family, Scarecrow with the Arkham Knight, and Joker, whatever army he had. But maybe it's entirely possible that the Joker-infected wouldn't have worked with Joker, causing Joker to just kill them. If that's the case, then Joker would still have his army of thugs as he usually has and would try and find a way to kill Scarecrow. Scarecrow's whole plan would have been screwed up by the Joker. I think that much I'm sure of would have happened, but Scarecrow would still try to enact his plan of engulfing the city in fear toxin and ruining the symbol Batman represents. But some way, Joker would end up being the main villain of Arkham Knight. It would honestly be similar to Arkham City's plot, where Hugo Strange was kind of the main villain, right? But at the end of the game, it was all about the Joker. Hugo Strange's plan against Batman was a pretty grandstand plan of destroying Gotham, but Joker's plan in Arkham City was more personal to Batman. I think how the story in Arkham Knight would have played initially was that Joker would let Scarecrow do his thing for a while, and then he would kill Scarecrow because he needs to make sure that people know he's the big boss of Gotham. And he would create some kind of personal plan against Batman, as he normally does. And what would that personal plan be? Could be anything, but what I think it would be is using Batman's infection against him. Remember what I talked about with Joker going to Panera Bread Studios and trying to free the Joker infected people? Joker would have found out there that Batman is infected. And when Joker finds this out, it could honestly play out in a bunch of different ways because Joker does random things. I can't predict what he would do. Maybe he would have killed all the other Joker infected people and solely focused on Batman's infection. Maybe he would have left with the Joker infected and devised a plan to use that against Batman later. But I think in any choice he makes, he would have made a plan to have Batman's infection take him over so Batman becomes another Joker, and maybe have Batman be an evil puppet that works alongside Joker himself. But yes, the Joker would end up being the main villain of the game. I think it would have started out with Scarecrow as the big bad, like I said, but then Joker killing him, and Joker using Batman's Joker infection against him. But we have to talk more about that. Batman's Joker disease. Would have Batman's Joker infection played the same? If Joker was still alive, would Batman still have another Joker in his mind telling him what to do? I don't know. The whole plotline with it is kind of convoluted already in the game. I don't know if his infection would have made him see Joker in his mind alongside a real Joker in the world. Rocksteady probably would have written it a different way, honestly, because two Jokers might make the story a little too complicated, but let's just say that that's what ends up happening. There is a Joker in Batman's mind and a Joker in real life. Because the Joker disease basically turns Batman into Joker himself, right? So it makes sense, I suppose, that there would be a Joker in his mind talking to him. Once the real Joker catches on to that, I think he would have stopped at nothing to get Batman to succumb to the disease and become another Joker. How he would do that, I'm not sure. Or Joker would try and save Batman from the disease, and I don't know if he would do this. I kind of doubt it, but I bring it up because Joker loves the game him and Batman play. Joker commits a crime, Batman shows up and fights him. That's the whole point of the Joker. If Batman became just another Joker, then the real Joker's purpose might be gone, because that's what Arkham Origins established, that the Joker loves the cat and mouse game they play. If something like the Joker disease were to ruin that, then the Joker might try to help find Batman a cure. You see, I don't know, it's hard to say, right? Because Joker helping Batman this way doesn't seem too likely, but maybe he would. It's hard to picture how Joker would react to Batman with the disease, but maybe this is what would happen. We've seen Joker's purpose in other iterations diminish when Batman was no longer Batman. So either Joker would push Batman to succumb to the disease, or try to help him so he's still Batman and they could play the game that Joker loves. I think it's one of those two options, or something completely different that I'm not thinking of. You let me know. But there's another character I haven't talked about that would play a huge role in all of this. Obviously, the Arkham Knight, Jason Todd. How would he react to the Joker? Okay, so the Joker tortured this Jason Todd for nearly 2 years and mentally pushed him to the extreme. So for Jason, I'm not sure how Jason would interact with the Joker being alive. In some comic iterations, it's all different. Some iterations of Jason do want to personally kill the Joker. Other versions want Batman to kill the Joker to avenge him. And other versions just straight up don't care about the Joker, even after Joker killed him. Jason, I think in most versions, never even cares about Joker himself. It's more so Joker's relation to Bruce, and Bruce not avenging Jason by killing Joker. In the Arkham Knight version, though, it seems that Jason never really cared if Joker died or not, but really only cared that Batman didn't look for him and replaced him as Joker made him believe. That's what Jason cares about. I don't think Arkham Jason would care for Joker and wouldn't go out of his way to kill him. All this Arkham Jason wanted to do was make Batman suffer for the pain he thinks he caused him, and to kill Batman. That's all it boils down to. So because of that, I'm not sure how Jason Todd plays a factor in Joker still being alive. Maybe Joker finds out somehow and tries to use that to his advantage, which I'll get into later. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jason does hate Joker for what he's done to him and wants him dead. But I mean, if that's the case, Jason had opportunities already, I'd say. The comics, which aren't canon, I'm still going to bring it up, have shown him with a gun next to Joker and could have killed him if he wanted to, but he was already broken down by him to do so, and as the Arkham Knight during the Arkham City saga, Jason could have found Joker and shot him and killed him if he really wanted to, right? So it's not like he didn't have chances to kill Joker when he was alive, which makes me think that he doesn't have a personal vendetta against him. It's all against Batman. It's kind of like the Dark Knight movie where Two-Face tells Batman that Joker's just a mad dog and that the real villains in his eyes are Batman and Gordon. For Jason, it's Batman, and Joker merely convinced him as such. But maybe Jason would have killed Joker if he were alive, and maybe that's how the game would end. Let me elaborate. I think the most likely way it would work is a final interaction in the final mission of the game between Joker, Jason, and Batman. The way I picture it is that Joker would be the endgame villain if he were still alive after killing Scarecrow and conducting whatever evil grand plan he has. Jason would have likely stepped in at the final mission to help Batman as he did in the actual game for the Scarecrow. Or Jason would still be angry at Batman because in the actual game, Batman and Jason never got a proper conclusion, I'd say. They never talk about their trauma. Having an endgame mission where Jason still wants Batman kind of dead and Joker there would lead to an excellent tense situation that I think would justify a conclusion to the series with Batman's biggest failure and biggest villain right in front of him, leading to whatever conclusion it may have in store. Would Jason have killed Joker in that scenario though? I think it's possible he doesn't, because he doesn't kill Scarecrow, right, in the actual game. If what I believe is true in that Jason doesn't really care for the Joker, I don't see why he'd shoot him, at least right in the beginning. The only way I'd see that happening is if he would use it as some kind of way to torture Batman, like the famous Under the Red Hood movie scene, if Jason were still mad at Batman in that final mission, hypothetically. While that sounds really awesome, I don't think that's what Jason would do in the game, because he really didn't do anything in the actual game to justify that. Jason in Arkham Knight straight up just wanted to kill Batman, plain and simple. It wasn't anything deeper than that. He wasn't putting Batman through these more complicated trials of torture beforehand, he just wanted to kill him. That was all Scarecrow. He put Batman through all that torture. Jason just wanted Batman to die. So I don't think at any point in the story Jason would have used Joker in some sort of way against Batman until in a possible final mission scenario where the chips are in front of him and he can use that to torture Batman if he's still angry with him after revealing himself and sparing Batman's life in the scene here. I think that'd be the most interesting way to end the series if Joker was alive, having a final mission between these three. Joker sees that Jason is alive, Batman trying to explain to Jason what happened, and Jason with a gun having control of the situation, still figuring out if he wants Batman dead or not, what he should do with the Joker. Could be very interesting. It could go in a multitude of ways. I'd imagine that it would end with Jason helping Batman and stopping Joker at the end though. Maybe Jason kills Joker, ending him once and for all, leaving Batman and Jason at odds, and Jason coming full circle to becoming Red Hood, and that's kind of how the story ends? I don't know. It could go so many ways. But just to summarize what I think would happen if the Joker was still alive, because I feel like this video is kind of all over the place, but let me summarize. The Scarecrow plan where he gets all the villains together, I think would still happen, except he excludes Harley because she's obviously still with the Joker. This means that potentially, Ivy isn't safe from Bloodhaven, and Batman wouldn't use her as part of his plan to stop the Cloudburst explosion in Gotham. If Scarecrow did send someone else to get Ivy, then the whole Cloudburst section of the game may have played the same, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, Henry Adams would contact Joker and Harley and tell them about his plan at Panessa Studios. Once we get to that section of the game, Joker would find out at the end of that section that Batman is infected, and he would either use that to his advantage and make Batman turn into Joker, which I think might be the more likely situation, or he would try and cure Batman so he can continue their cat and mouse game they have. Also, he may leave with the other Joker infected to create a Joker army, which would result in a three-way battle in the story between the Bat family, Joker, and his Joker gang, and Scarecrow with the Arkham Knight. Or Joker simply kills the other infected Joker people, other than Batman, and leaves. It could be either or. Moving on, I think the story would play out similarly, but at this point, I think Batman may have Robin help him search for the Joker. He would probably ask Robin to look for him but not to engage considering how dangerous Joker is, while Batman has to deal with Scarecrow since Scarecrow is the immediate huge threat. I don't know. It's hard to say what Batman would do here since he can't just leave Joker on the loose. But moving on, I think at some point, Joker will kill Scarecrow since Scarecrow's trying to be the big crime lord of Gotham, which Joker would not like. And once Joker kills Scarecrow, he conducts whatever grand plan he has, whether it's making Batman succumb to his disease, or unleashing the Titan Jokers to cause havoc, or use the chaos already ensued in Gotham post-Cloudburst explosion to try and take control or maybe destroy the city. Throughout the story, I think Batman would still hallucinate about the Joker, maybe in different ways though. Maybe more scenarios like the killing joke section or Jason getting tortured rather than Joker talking to him constantly, or maybe just the same, and Batman has to deal with the mental and real incarnations of Joker affecting his psyche. I think Batman and Jason would have still had that section where they fight and kind of talk and make up, and at the very end of the game, Batman, Joker would have likely had a final confrontation since it's a finale for the Arkham games, which can go in so many different ways. I think something that'll be for certain is that Batman beats the Joker in his mind like he does in the actual game, and may use that to his advantage. Let's say Joker somehow has Batman captive like Scarecrow did. Batman may tell Joker once he cures himself, essentially, that he'll never be like him, and that Joker will be forgotten one day, when he dies, just like the one he told in his mind. Or maybe they have a heart-to-heart in Arkham Asylum where it all started in the games. So many things could have happened, but I think at some point after that, Jason comes into that scene and is either still wanting Batman dead or choosing to help Batman. It'll create an extremely tense three-way situation where Joker finds out that Jason's alive, creating more drama, Jason choosing whether to kill Batman or Joker. Maybe it ends up like the Under the Red Hood scene where, Jason is trying to get Batman to kill Joker. It's so interesting. There's so many ways it can go. I can't pick a specific scenario, but I think the ending that I see is that Jason kills Joker, becomes Red Hood. That's where he would become Red Hood. Batman and Jason are at odds, and the story ends there. I mean, there would be more to it, but I don't know. There's just so many ways it could go. But I think in a nutshell, Scarecrow starts off the game, Joker kills him, then it's Joker taking over Gotham and being the main villain, and Batman and him have one final confrontation which may result in Joker dying to end off the series. I just can't tell you how specifics would play out, like how would each specific mission in the game play differently, if Ivy would have played a factor, how the Joker disease plot would have worked, because it's all theory crafting at that point, right? I think what I said makes sense kind of on paper, but nothing can be concrete. I don't know what would happen exactly. Especially with the Joker, considering he's such a chaotic character, he's just so random. It's hard to tell what his motivations would exactly be. I do think Scarecrow's plan would have played out though, because Scarecrow alluded to it in Arkham City. Scarecrow may have tried to create a plan to stop Joker or keep him at bay, but would ultimately fail. Joker would be the main villain in Arkham Knight. I think that much is certain. Whether that is use the Titan Jokers for an army of his or whatever, the end of the game would be, I think, one last confrontation between him and Batman. Would he die? I think so. Would he live? Maybe. I can't say for sure. But since Arkham Knight is the conclusion to the series, there would be some sort of send-off between the two in some shape or form. And in regards to if Poison Ivy wasn't in play, I think Batman would have stopped the Cloudburst explosion in some other way because they need to, right? It's storytelling, but that's all up to interpretation too. But that's how I think things would have played out if the Joker was alive. I can't go into specific details in the video, nor do I want to, because everything I say would be theory crafting. There's no way to know how each mission or how the story would really play out in specifics, and that leaves room for you guys to comment. I know this entire video is theory crafting, but you know what I mean? The story would see a dramatic change though with Joker as the endgame villain. At least that's what I think. What do you think though? I could be horribly wrong on all of this. I would not be surprised. You let me know. Let me know what you think would happen, because I think this is a super interesting topic and I genuinely do want to know. But as always, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to help me get to 100k this year. I'd really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter as well if you like the stuff. And any support in the video is always and really appreciated. Thank you so much for everything, truly. Salma Hayek is hot. Stay safe, and peace.